Hi everybody, welcome to Ethical Leadership and Organizational Behavior. Going to be working together for 7 weeks on this class, and hopefully you'll get some good ideas to help you develop as a leader. So if we start out, you can either click the course information tab or go right to the syllabus and download the syllabus. Basically each week you're going to be working on a discussion board, a written assignment, and a journal, except for the first week we have an extra introduction. So if we take a look at the modules, so in the Start Here area you'll see the Citadel characteristics of principled leaders that we will be working on each week. That's what your journal is going to be based on. We take a look at the first module. So this is going to be an introduction to each other, an introduction to the class, an introduction to the topic. And so we're going to start out each chapter, each module, since we're in a 7-week session, is basically 2 chapters. You have some specific learning objectives here to examine your own experience with organizational behavior. The characteristics, the Citadel characteristics of principled leader that we're going to look at this week is leading with humility. And then your written assignment is going to be to assess the impact of implicit bias in organizational efforts at diversity and inclusion. So the introduction pages are going to look similar. So we have the module, we have the chapters. Here I have 2 articles and a video to help you think about or reflect on the journal assignment. And then you see the weekly assignments. So 1, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, provide a little bit of background, and then tell us 2 truths and a lie, and we'll try to guess which of your statements are true and which is the lie. So introduction discussion boards, the initial post is due on Wednesday by midnight, and respond to 2 other posts by Sunday at midnight. So this is week 1. Might take you a little bit of time to get started, but get that in there when you can. Your discussion board, traditional discussion board, has you examining the concept or the field of organizational behavior, systematic study and application of knowledge about how people act in organizations where they work. So 3 basic questions. Can we understand people's behavior? Can we predict people's behavior? And can we influence it? So your discussion post here, I'm asking you to share a little bit about your experience, evaluate your own leaders, and then take a look at some of the trends and challenges facing leaders today. Your written assignment this week focuses on the 2nd chapter, looks at examining implicit bias. So I've asked you to take a look at this. I call it a case. It's just a short scenario, and then ask you some questions. Take one of the implicit association tests at this Harvard site. So some of you may have done that before, so pick one and go through the process and get your results. And then what I want you to write about here is in number 4. Okay, reflect on your experiences. Hopefully in process of doing these assignments and reading the chapter, you're learning about implicit bias and perceptual shortcuts that we take, that everybody uses. So think about these questions. What was your reaction to the activities above? So the Sam Powers case, implicit association test. What struck you? What surprised you? What makes sense? Reflect on how biases might influence people's behavior at work. Do you have any of your own experiences? Think about what organizations can do to reduce the impact of bias. Take a look at what IBM is doing. The chapter describes their work. And then usually these will end with what personal learning occurred for you. What can you do with what you've learned? So the final assignment for every week is the journal. And again, we'll be looking at the Citadel's characteristics of principled leaders. So the first one is to lead with humility. So you had some resources at the beginning of the module. Here's a quote that I like. And so the assignment is to evaluate yourself as a good example of a humble leader. So reflect on your own behaviors, reflect on the reading assignments, the video, think about leaders that you've had, whether they've been humble leaders or not, and how you might incorporate this characteristic into your future leadership. So I think that's it for introducing week 1. I will come in and do my own introduction with 2 truths and a lie. So I'll see you there.